Now I would like to invite the distinguished representative of the Russian Federation, Ambassador.
Thank you, Mr. President. We thank Special Representative of the Secretary General Janine Hennis-Plasschaert for her briefing on the situation in Iraq. We also welcome the formation of the government of Prime Minister Mustafa al-Kadhimi and support its efforts to address long-standing key challenges, which include mobilizing all resources to combat the COVID-19 pandemic and addressing the economic crisis, combating corruption, implementing administrative reforms, and launching a national dialogue with all sections of Iraqi society fighting terrorism and other goals. We are convinced that a national inclusive dialogue will help overcome internal problems. In this regard, we encourage the resumption of contacts between Baghdad and Erbil that should restore mutual understanding and resolve differences, as well as help reach a comprehensive agreement on all outstanding issues, inter alia on revenues and resources sharing. We are convinced that further improvement of these relations will help Iraq promote security and effective use of its economic capacity for the good of the entire Iraqi nation. We support plans of the government of Iraq to hold free, fair, and credible elections next year. As we heard today from the SRSG, UNAMI stands ready to provide electoral assistance to Iraqi authorities. We believe that the UN can play a supportive role during preparation for the elections within UNAMI mandate approved by the Security Council. The spread of COVID-19 has had a significant impact on the overall situation in Iraq and resulted in multiple economic and humanitarian challenges. It is important that the international community supports Baghdad as it develops comprehensive measures aimed at responding to the COVID-19 outbreak, restoring the economy and improving social aspects. As the report of the Secretary General highlights that ISIL continues to conduct attacks and remains a threat to Iraq's security, we are convinced that this challenge can be effectively countered only through the broadest coordination of counter-terrorism efforts. At the same time, we believe it is necessary to all those involved in the fight against terrorism in Iraq to support the sovereignty of the Iraqi state and coordinate their actions with Baghdad. We reiterate our consistent approach that Iraq should not become an arena for regional confrontation. We support Iraq's sovereignty and territorial integrity. We are ready to support and encourage Iraq's continued efforts to build balanced, constructive, and mutually beneficial relations with all its neighbors and in the whole region. Mr. President, we noticed that our US colleagues have once again tried to blame Iran for destabilizing the situation in Iraq, referring to their failed efforts to impose arms embargo on Iran this month. It clearly seems that they lack opportunities to speak on the situation in the region and try to use every possibility to speak on it. A strange posture, given the fact that they recently didn't support two initiatives by Russia to hold a Security Council meeting to discuss the situation around Iran nuclear deal. In any case, we all know what was the origin of current continuing turmoil in Iraq. I will just refer to the well-known position of President Trump, who called the Iraq war the worst geopolitical mistake of our generation. At the same time, we are indeed concerned with attempts to escalate the situation around Iran that might have a negative impact on the internal situation in Iraq. The idea of a unifying agenda in the interests of creating a regional security architecture is increasingly in demand, especially now, when we are witnessing efforts to artificially increase tensions around Iran. We have proposed several ideas of finding a solution along these lines and invoke here Security Council Resolution 598 and the Russian concept of collective security in the Persian Gulf. Recently, President Putin proposed another initiative to hold a summit of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council together with Germany and Iran to discuss the situation in the Gulf and the ways to improve it. We invite all the parties concerned to positively consider this initiative as an invitation to a dialogue. Thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of the Russian Federation.